Hi everyone, this is Don Hayes, and I'd like to welcome you to the initial installment of our content management training videos. The first one is just going to be an overview of what we mean by content management. To get started, I'm going to first just talk about content on your site and what do we mean by the term content. So let's jump to this training site that we have, or this demo site that we use for all of our demoing and training sessions, and let's look at the content on this site. Now, when we speak of content, we're really speaking about pages. So textual, maybe the About Us page, which is just content on the page textually, as well as maybe, let's say, the Contact Us page, which is content itself, but it's managed a little bit differently. Maybe your help pages, the documentation. These are articles within categories and sections. So I mean, there's quite a few different content elements that we're speaking of, or maybe even the About Us or our location. These things like that. We'll also touch later on in this segment, or these groups of videos. We'll be talking about the menu manager as well, and how to manage the menu elements or items within the menu, because those are directly related to your content and how you want people to navigate to your content. So let's first look at the home page of this site. And now, because we do so many different sites for so many different retailers and manufacturers, this, of course, is a representation of what your site could be like. We may have something up here with animation. We may have products being pulled into different parts of the front page, as well as banners, things of that nature. Maybe you don't have a left column, but just it still applies to what you have or what you're doing on your site, the home page. For example, this demo site that we have, this is just a dynamic image pulling in with banners, what we call them, but they're like in a slideshow process, and each one has a link that goes to a specific place on this site, and yours may have that. Down here, these are just random products or products being pulled in that are defined from a category, and as well as these are banners being brought in to this position here at the home page. But what we're going to talk about is this chunk here, which is the content. So to get to that, we need to go to the back end. I'm already logged in, so I'm assuming that you know how to log into your site and get to this. Let's look at the content on the back end. There's a menu here called Content, and from here there are quite a few different menu items and functions that you can use for content, or get to the necessary items that you have for content. For 90% of you out there that are using our system, the one that you'll probably go to and use is always the Static Content Manager. So let's go there now and look at that. The Static Content Manager has a bunch of just pages or content items or articles on that's on your site right now. Like, for example, on this one, there is probably, yes, the best toy store in the universe, the home page. If we click on this, it'll pull up, and you'll see the WYSIWYG Editor, the new CK editor, and you'll see that here's a bunch of text in here. We jump to the front of this site, you'll see there's a bunch of the text here. Just to give a quick, simple example, we'll go into more detail as we break these out into other videos, but you'll see that you can quickly change this text. Come up here and hit Apply or Save. They're both the same. The Apply just keeps the editor open, so you don't have to reopen that content. Let's go to the front end, and let's just, you'll see here, so I made that change about here. Hit Reload. You can see here's the new one. This is new text that I changed. A very simple example, but this is one of the things that you'll be able to use and manage and edit the content on your site. I'm going to cover just some other quick topics really fast, and to be, to end this first overview of content. Let's hit Cancel here. Let's look back to the content menu item. you'll see that there's a couple of other menu elements here underneath content. One's content by section, all content items, static content manager, which we just looked at, and that's what we're on right now with these static content pages. We also have section manager and category manager, front page manager, archive manager, and page impressions. The one that we're going to speak about first is this one called content by section. Now, if you notice, we have a thing down here called section manager and category manager. These guys here, these content by section, this is a section that these guys are a part of, or a category. If we click onto all content items, these are all the articles that are within, you should say, sections, like there's one called store info, and categories, hours, contact, help. So these are all just articles, just like the static content manager, except these have assignments to sections and categories. And you're probably going, why would you want to do that? Well, let's quickly take a look at the front end again of the site. Let's click on the help menu item. And you'll see here that there is test, wish list, payment options, shipping rates, return, exchange policies. Let's jump to the back end, and if we filter the category to help, you'll see that's where these guys are. There's even a gift wrapping here that's unpublished. Let's publish that. And we'll go through more detail on all this stuff here, but again, this is just an overview, and if we hit reload here, you'll see there's wish list. Go look at the wish list, and here's an article on the wish list system and how to create and everything else. Now you can modify this, change this to be your own verbiage. It's yours to edit and manage. We just start you out with it so that it has something there for the wish list system and gets people to start using or know how to use it. So you could actually come back here to the content items that we're on in the back end, and you see all of them here, and we can click on wish list. And you'll see, there it is. Let's pull this out so you can see more of it. There's the article in the back end. So you can edit it back here using this editor. Or if you're an HTML person, like to work in HTML, here's your HTML. And I'll go into a lot of details on this editor, as there's a lot of functions on here. Just like Word, Microsoft Word, even though this is not Word, what this is what people call a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. And it creates HTML for you, so you don't have to be an HTML person. Okay? So let me go ahead and close this. And you can see from this article, this content item, this article, when you got it open, you could actually assign it to some other categories if you wanted to, or if there were other sections, you could assign it to those. And again, I'll go into more detail on sections and categories and how to do assignment and how to create menu items for those later. Let's go back to content. So again, here's the section manager. We'll just click on that. We have one called store info, which you kind of saw that in the way the products or the articles were assigned to them. And you can edit this, change it to be something else. The section, title and section name. You can also put in a description here. And go back to content, go down to categories. And here you'll see we have three categories: hours, contact, and help. And I'll go into more details on these guys, but you'll see that in help we have 6 active articles and 1 in the trash. So somebody created an article and trashed it. And there's actually a trash. If you go to Site Trash Manager, you'll see all the articles, menu items, whatever you've trashed in there that you can, kind of like just on your computer, you'll have a trash can and you can go in and look at it and say empty the trash. You can do the same thing here. It allows you to delete stuff, but not completely delete it. You can restore it, pull it back out of the trash. And same thing with like sections. You can do category description. You'll see here's a category description for the help. So if we jump back to the front end and go to help, this is that description that we just looked at for the category of help. And then these are dynamic articles that are just being brought in lines. So it helps you kind of organize content. There's some other stuff you can do too, which when I get into doing the menu items for categories, you can see that you can do blogs and you can post like news articles. So you can do a lot with the categories and sections. You don't have to, but we do have people that are doing more informational topics on their site and trying to do like a good news and trying to do like an article every other week or once a month, an article on either the toy industry or child well-being. They're kind of being more of a focus and doing more articles because as you should know, articles or content on a site will draw more traffic to your site than just products. I mean, products help. I mean, that's all part of it. You know, people are searching for products. But if somebody's searching for a certain topic, that'll come up in that search engine a lot quicker than a product will, and that will get them to your site, and you'll get traffic there, which then hopefully you can market to on your site and sell to. So that's kind of what this is. The articles and everything are all about. Let's go ahead and close this category. Then we have a couple more things that I'm just, again, briefly going to talk about on this video. We have the Front Page Manager. Now, the Front Page Manager is a very interesting, should I say, guy. Right now, there's nothing assigned to the Front Page Manager, and the Front Page Manager could be like a news place where you have all your news and articles to come into. And I'll build an example of this later. But if we go back to here we go, all content items, and we look at all the content items that are right now in the help category, you'll see that there's actually a place here where you can say Front Page Manager. And what that means, it will then go to this guy here. So if you had news pieces or little articles that were part of different categories, say you had a category about new up-and-coming products, and you wanted that to be on the Front Page Manager, and again, we'll do this a little bit later to give you a good example of it, then those articles would pull into that Front Page Manager. You wouldn't have to keep managing a single static content page and remove articles, you know, or bits of articles and stuff like that. And again, it's confusing because it's so, you know, dynamic and everything else. But we'll go through this more when I do Front Page Manager and give you some good examples of how it can be used, how you can use it. And you don't be alarmed by the name Front Page. Implies that this is what the front page of your site is or would be, or the home page. Some people do use it as that, but they primarily use it for like more of an informational section of like news and articles and maybe even like you could even have a category for product recalls or safety. Again, there's quite a few different things you can do with content and the management of it, and this system does a lot of that. I mean, it's intended to manage large amounts of content and articles so that you can do a very robust content site. The Archive Manager, if you were to archive your articles, you could archive them so they no longer are viewed, but you don't want to get rid of them. Say they're dated information or whatever. So you can come here and maybe then refresh them if you wanted to. I have no archives or no articles archived, but again, you could archive them. If you go again, let's go back to all content items, articles, and you could, archive these guys by selecting them and then hitting the archive button. See, it gets removed from here, but it's not removed. It's actually been added to the Archive Manager. See there? So if you wanted to unarchive it, it would go back to that category and all would be good. It just helps you keep it's kind of like trash to a degree, but you could accidentally delete this stuff, and so it's much better to maybe archive old articles that you might be able to reuse later on whatever the topic may be in your content. The very last one is page impressions. Now this is helpful because it shows you how many times your page has been viewed. And it's a complete view. It's not like from a crawl or anything like that. It's really how many times was this viewed by some specific person. If you see since this is just a training site, we don't view a lot of the articles, but it does give you that capability that if you had a bunch of articles, you could see which ones would be hit the most. You also have the ability, since we're looking at this, page impressions, which can help you with understanding who is getting to your site and trafficking your site. We also have this guy here under Site Statistics in Search Text. What this does is it captures all of the, and right now I have it disabled on this training site, but this shows you what items have been searched for on your site using the search field, and they might be looking for products or articles. Typically on a site like this, it would be using it to look for products, and we direct people to products. And you can also click this guy here, and it would then show, oops, I have it turned off, never mind. I don't have it enabled. So that's pretty much a quick overview of our articles, static content, section category management, front page manager, archive manager, page impressions on our just on our content overall, and also how to see statistics of search text. The next thing that we're going to be going through is video-wise. If you step to the next video, we will be going through and creating a static content page. So hope to have you check that video out. Thanks, and yeah.